Alright, welcome YouTube. My name is Anthony from Lessons from Second. If this is your first time at my channel, do me a favor and go ahead and hit the like button at the bottom of the video. Make sure to click on the subscribe button and the notifications bell so that you don't miss future posts. Also, you're probably going to have to do a little bit of homework. I'd really recommend going and watching my Build Your Brand video, because what we're going to talk about in this video is going to be the SWOT analysis. And it is a concept that I talked about inside of the Build Your Brand video in order to improve and increase self-awareness, right? So let's go ahead and get into this. SWOT analysis, what is it? SWOT analysis is a tool so that you can identify what your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are that are keeping you from achieving the goals and the things that you want in life. I said before in that video, self-realization is the key to self-awareness. I have to understand truly and honestly who I am, both good and bad, in order to fix my problems, in order to understand what's keeping me from my goals. The reason why I'm shooting this video today is because I used this concept on myself this past week, yesterday as a matter of fact, and I even shared it with my students, and I want to walk you through this process. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is strengths. Strengths are the things that you perceive that you do well. But most importantly, I think that a lot of people out in the world today really think that they're experts in so many things. And here's something that I really want to approach you with. You are truly not an expert in something until somebody else recognizes you as an expert, right? We all have things that we think that we're good at. We think that we're great singers, or we think that we're remarkably attractive, or we have good fashion or whatever. But it does take a little bit of acknowledgement from the population body as a whole to recognize your talents in those specific areas. I can tell you all day long that I think that I'm a great professional speaker. But if you don't like my videos, if nobody else tunes into my content, if nobody is booking me to speak at events and venues, and I wasn't doing this for a living, then the argument could be made that maybe this isn't a strength of mine, right? So that is just one example of how we can use our strengths and assessments to better get a picture of what is it that we really are doing well. Now I'm going to come back to strengths because I think that this is a major important portion of achieving your goals, and I think a lot of people are using this wrong. So I want you to hold this thought. But the focus of this video is going to be weaknesses, right? Why are weaknesses so important? Weaknesses are important because they are hard as hell to recognize, and we fight really, really strongly against ourselves to not recognize what our weaknesses are. Case in point, myself included. I don't like to look in the mirror and stare in the mirror and see something that I don't do well, and all of a sudden it crushes your self-image and who you are, and then you have to wake up and be like, man, you know what? I really am garbage. I don't do this well. Nobody wants to have that conversation with yourself. No one. But that conversation is very important to have. So I'm going to give you a little story. So let's kick back and let's talk about something that happened to me yesterday. Yesterday was by all means a really fantastic day in my life. 18 months, 2 years ago, I would have been the happiest guy ever with the day that I had yesterday. I woke up, all of my major commitments and responsibilities were taken care of. I didn't have anything really going on in my day. I got to work. I had nothing laying on my desk that was real pressing that had to be done right then. The phone wasn't ringing. By all accounts, I could have sat in my office the entire day and watched YouTube and Netflix. Nobody would have been the wiser, and I could have relaxed, kicked, and just chilled, right? Everybody loves those days. But I'll tell you what, there has been a major change in my life in the last 18 months or 2 years. And that is really that I truly, desperately want change in my life. I want more from my life. I want something different. I want to change my place of being. So that push, that drive, the influencers that I've been putting in my life gave me a sick feeling in my stomach yesterday, and I had to do a lot of soul searching because I walked around a lot of my day really confused. I couldn't understand why I had this horrible, pressing, sick feeling on my stomach and why I couldn't get myself just to relax into my day. And what I came to realize is because the things that were happening yesterday were highlighting weaknesses in my life that are keeping me from my goals, that are keeping me from achieving my opportunities, and that are serving as threats in my life. And what are those things? I'm going to be truly honest with you, because all of this really is about my journey, and so that you can see my journey and maybe apply this to your life, and so that you don't have to make some of these same mistakes in yours, or maybe this will give you the courage to be honest with yourself. But when I woke up yesterday, I was tired. I had a very hard week last week. I put in a lot of hours. I did a lot of things. I put a lot of effort toward achieving my goals. And when I woke up yesterday morning, I was just kind of tired and I was beat down. But here's the problem. Success doesn't care if you're tired. Changing your life doesn't care if you're tired. Every minute of the day that I have set aside to be productive, when I spend that not being productive, I am keeping myself from achieving my own goals. And I woke up and I got in the shower and then I went to go get dressed, and I'll tell you what, I had a lazy day. I woke up, I put jeans and a t-shirt on, very similar to what I'm wearing right now, and I made the decision at that moment in my life to become comfortable. And I want this to sink in with you, because when I made that decision to become comfortable, I turned off the switch that motivates me to go to work. I turned off the switch that motivated me to do things to progress my life. I turned off the switch that allowed me to kick myself in the ass and get shit done. This was huge because I couldn't put my finger on what was wrong that whole day, and I made that decision at 5:45 in the morning, and that derailed so much of my day because I wasn't in the right mindset to be successful. And this highlighted for me several problems that are in my life. This highlighted for me several weaknesses that I have. I have always struggled with my weight. Why? Why do I struggle with my weight? Because I struggle with my diet, right? Now, I discovered keto a long time ago. I don't struggle with my diet nearly as much as I have in the past. But I'll tell you what, I have a weakness when it comes to certain types of food. Cookies, for example. I cannot walk past cookies without eating a cookie. It's just not there, right? But this, as funny as that may seem, this is a real weakness, because that same personality trait, that same characteristic trait that won't let me say no to that cookie is the same personality trait that didn't get me off my ass yesterday. It's the same personality trait that didn't make me dig deep and achieve my goals. Underlying all of this is a lack of self-discipline and laziness. Now, I know what you're thinking, but man, how can you be lazy? You were in the military and you've done all these things, right? I may have motivation and self-discipline and laziness conquered at a certain level, but it's not eliminated. Therefore, it's still in my life. Therefore, it is still a weakness. And this is really keeping me from achieving the things that I want in life. My aspirations are bigger than my strengths will allow. So when my strengths come to this level and my weaknesses come in, what they're doing is they're bringing me down and they're keeping me from those opportunities. They're keeping me from the things that I want to achieve in life. Now, I tell that story about myself just to be real honest with you and to be real, because I think that this is important. I'm not here telling you how to live your life. I'm here trying to show you what I'm going through in my life, in my journey, and my process, so that you can get a better understanding of how this can apply to your life. But when we assess our strengths, we have to be really honest with ourselves about our weaknesses. Then we need to look at what are our opportunities. My opportunities yesterday was to kick myself in the ass, to turn around, and to get stuff done in a day that I typically wouldn't. My opportunity yesterday was to turn on that switch, to fight against myself, and to become productive. If you desperately want change in your life like I do, because that's important to me, I want change in my life, I have to stay in motion. An object in motion remains in motion. An object at rest stays at rest. And I do not want to stay in this place. I want to move forward. My opportunities yesterday lied in pushing myself forward. My opportunities really lie in correcting my weaknesses. Threats. What are the things that threaten you from achieving what it is that you want in life? Threats can be both external and internal. They can be within your environment. The same with your opportunities. Your opportunities can be within your environment, or they can be internally, like fixing some of your weaknesses. There are many different ways to perceive some of these concepts, right? But your threats, in my case, these weaknesses are threats because they are taking away from me the ability to achieve the things that I want in life. However, all of this comes back to self-realization. This is nothing more than a tool to open up your eyes to yourself. A mirror. You're going to hear me talk about mirrors so much. And one of these times, I'm going to tell you a story about how that mirror completely changed my life. But you need to put a mirror in your life, and you need to stop lying to yourself about what you're seeing in that mirror. And you need to be able to take that punch in the gut, because it's going to hurt. In fact, it's going to knock you completely on your ass at first. And you need to prepare yourself mentally for that. That mirror is not going to be your friend. It's going to expose the worst of you. But until you see the worst of you, the world's already seeing that, right? This is where there's a disconnect between what everybody else thinks about you and what you think about yourself. Because everybody else sees your shit that you don't want to see. Let that sink in for a second. Everybody else sees your shit that you don't want to see. When you can become honest with yourself about your problems and you can get on the same page as everyone else and you can start to correct those problems, not only are you going to improve the relationships with the people in your life, but you're also going to improve your relationship for you and you're going to increase your opportunity. My motto is all about maximizing opportunities. How do you take every day and maximize every opportunity to get the very most out of it going forward? It all starts here. It all starts with that mirror. I hope that this message really helped you guys. SWOT analysis. This is something that you absolutely need to be doing in your life. You need to recognize yourself and learn yourself intimately so that you're not standing in the way of your own hopes, goals, and dreams. So that you are building quality relationships in your life. So that you become the person that you truly want to be.